What's up, guys? It's Benchez, and welcome back to Asagao Academy, the Husbando quest. That's right. It's been a little bit, but we're back. I got my jacket, I got love in my eyes, I got my heart set on finding my husbando. Where we last left off, Gerard was actually being the super sweet, bearded, beautiful man he was, letting us find our way around the school, offering to give us a proper tour of the campus. Now, we haven't really gotten a full tour of it, and he's willing to do so. Will we make connections with him today in this episode? I don't know, but let's find out. Has anyone told you we don't get many transfers? It's been implied. I always wondered what the new students think of everything right when they get here. I wish I could experience everything here for the first time again. Was your old school anything like this? Not at all. It feels more like a college campus because of the dormitories. My old high school was just a big brick building. Gerard nodded. I thought he wanted to say more, but there we were, in front of the boys' dorm. He pulled open the door for me, and once inside, he held open his hand.
Aw, yeah.
This is the Bluebell House. This is where the boys live. It's literally a carbon copy of the girls' dorm, except the walls are blue. Feel free to walk around, but probably don't go into any rooms. I'm going to drop this off and I'll be right back. Nothing more awkward than being one girl by yourself in the boys' dorm. He raced off to the stairwell and then took me time to... I got the feeling that he was rushing so as not to make me wait longer than I had to. And I smiled. It made me feel cared for. There wasn't much to look around while I was waiting, though I stepped into the side not to block any doors, stretched out my neck and listened to the sounds of the action movies from the room nearby. I headed for the dormitory door, but when I reached to pull it open, the door swung open by itself. Two yellow-jacketed men stepped into the hall. I stared up at them in shock, and I looked at them the same way. Whoa! Pink hair! That's unique. The one on the right instantly called out my hair in a thick British accent. The other, probably the youngest student I met so far, scanned me up and down. You're the girl who sat at the normal boots table today, aren't you? You could tell? Was my presence already so well known I'm just sitting at their table? I wasn't sure whether I could be pleased or upset, but the men in front of me were busy talking amongst themselves. I never thought they'd entertain having such a girl join them. Do you think it's because of the puzzle incident? Shane would never be comfortable with somebody like joining us like that, though. They hardly know her. There must be some reason. She sat with them, though. If they're planning a secret weapon, we should get back at them. Excuse me? I shouted in the middle of them, shocking even myself. I wasn't usually so loud or forward, but the way they were bickering, they gave me the impression that I didn't stop them. That if I didn't stop them, they'd keep going on forever. I'm right here. You can just ask me something if you're confused.
Hey.
Hey, you're right. So, are you joining the Normal Boots Club, then, or...
What?
Joining? Joining the Normal Boots Club never crossed my mind as a possibility. All I was thinking about was getting to the good with them, getting on their good side, and so hopefully they wouldn't mess with me. Actually, joining the club, was that even possible? And they were gamers, or something. I had almost no experience with video games. There was no way I'd be able to join. Seeing my crestfallen face, the young member backtracked. Sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. We're members of the Hidden Block Club, and the Normal Boots Club is our rival tournament, so we were just wondering.
Greetings and salutations, my beautiful person.
Greetings and salutations, my beautiful person. I'm Cadikaris. I can't say his name. And this is Jimmy Wetzel. You can call him Caddy. You can call me Caddy for short. Though everyone does. Everyone? Jimmy cast a knowing glance at Caddy's direction, and Caddy grimaced. Almost everyone. Beautiful, thank you. Don't mind him, he tells everyone that. Because everyone is a beautiful person. Ouch.
Hey guys!
Hey guys! Gerard skidded around the corner, panting as if he ran the entire way. In fact, I didn't doubt that he had. I see you met Hana. She's new. She's a new friend of ours. So be nice to her, all right?
What?
Well, we'd never be anything but nice.
Yeah, whatever.
Last year's tournament would beg to differ. That was one time, and that was only because Shane ate my pizza. Oh yeah, forgot about that.
Later, guys.
Anyways, I don't want to keep you. I was giving Hana a tour of our campus. She's new here, since she's new here. Well, it was nice meeting you. I hope we see you around more.
Bye.
It was nice meeting you. Gerard waved the pair off as they climbed to the staircase and held the door open for me again. And we're off again. This is the Azalea Art Center. This is the recording booth where lots of spare room for clubs to meet in. There's a theater right next to it. It's where John holds drama club and all its rehearsals. I think the student council elections are held there. And Jared has a special event at least once a semester. Last year it was a martial arts expedition, and Jared did kendo against other practitioners in the school. He shook his head in awe.
See what I mean?
He's truly talented. Really, all of my friends are. I think I'm really lucky to have people like that around me.
Gerard.
Aw, Gerard. He's talented too.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Did you have a question? No. It's alright. Great! Over there you can see the Higabana peeking out of the distance. There's a field of... There's a field separating us and the people that eat there. Gerard seemed cheerful, grateful, down-to-earth kind of person. He was really going out of his way to help me and be kind to me, even though he didn't seem to realize what a big deal that was. I giggled. Something told me that I shouldn't point it out, despite that I was truly thankful. He took me to places Mai did and more, describing everything, several past events in excruciating detail. It was a little much for a friendly tour, but having the names and locations of the buildings were burned into my mind was a good thing. We ended the tour back at Poppy Hall, where it all seemed like hours walking around. Gerard was keen on finishing off the tour with the best place on campus. Ta-da! Here it is, the Normal Boots Club Room. He pushed the door open, pointed inside, and looked towards the regular room filled with desks and some kind of toys. It's not much, but it's home to some of the happiest memories. He shut the door again and dusted his hands. There's a little closet here people use to store things too. He reached to turn the handle but paused and then reached his hand. What was that? A shutter I saw? Just a little tip. Knock before you open the door to any closet on campus.
Really?
Why? Oh, you know, ghosts, I guess. That was strange advice delivered strangely. Gerard was uncomfortable. I wasn't sure what to make of it. He knocked a few seconds later opened the door. What the? Someone was in that closet. I was not expecting someone in that closet. Why was someone in that closet?
Hey!
Hey! Gerard waved to a person in the closet door, turning back to me. Who? Sorry if he scared you. What? Anyways, that's the tour. How was it? He beamed. I hesitated, but seeing his eyes twitching slightly, though better than to be bringing it back up. It was awesome. Thank you so much. I learned a lot about the school and about you and your friends. It really made me feel included. No problem. Not at all. I like helping out. I wish I had someone to show me around when I first got here.
Huh.
You have no idea how long it took me to find all the secret tunnels and make a complete map of campus. Secret tunnels?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah! Oh man, I gotta show you. Gerard glanced at the clock hanging on the wall and winced.
Oh.
Darn, I gotta get going. I have homework to do, but if you ever need help, I'm here for you. He got out a notebook and scribbled something down. Then he ripped it out and gave it to me. Here. My phone number, dorm number, address, parents' phone number, email, Facebook, blipper, information. Don't hesitate to ask me anything. That's a lot of information.
See you later.
I'll see you later. Anna, it was really great spending time with you. And just like that, he was gone. I put the paper in my bag, chuckling softly to myself, then paused. I had to check. We were in front of the supply closet the whole time, and I fought the urge to open the door after Gerard closed it. Now I was going to see who was in there. Darkness. The light was off this time. I slid my hand across the wall looking for the switch. I flipped it. There was no one in the closet. I froze, still as the paints constructed paper and lines on the walls. He wasn't in here. And this was the only exit. I closed the door, blinked hard, walked straight back to my dorm room. Forget about it. Just forget about it. Ignoring that last incident, Gerard truly went out of his way to show that he was thinking about me. In fact, I got the impression he was this way for everyone, maybe even everything. He thought he was thorough, very thorough. And when he wanted to help you, he did everything in his power to do so. Maybe it hadn't meant much to him, but it meant a lot to me. I returned to the dorm, crawled into bed, with a smile on my face, ready to take on the next day. This time, I knew I wouldn't get lost. We're learning more about ourselves. We're becoming more comfortable at the school. Maya and I arrived at Poppy Hall the next morning, and it immediately became clear something had changed. Posters drenched in nausea-inducing neon colors were plastered on lockers. Several students gathered to take a look. Oh! My gosh! We walked over to the walls to get a better look. Is that Jared? Oh my god, my nose itches. Ah! Anyway, when Mai didn't respond, I turned to look at her. The expression on her face told me that her mind wandered somewhere that would have made a call girl blush. Mai, you're drooling. That seemed to jolt her out of her fantasy. She lifted her sleeves to wipe away the drool off her chin. I am not! What are these posters for? Well, last year Jared put on a fashion show, and it looks like he's doing it again this year. I didn't know Jared was into fashion. Mai shrugged. He's not. I waited for some type of clarification.
He's so cute.
One time in biology, I saw him take off his sweater, and his shirt got caught and stuck, and he pulled it up, and I swear he had like 20 abs. It's not physically possible. I waited in vain.
Good morning.
Hello, ladies. Oh no. Mai and I whipped around and there stood Jared in all of his glittering, magnificent glory. Mai's face turned a blushing pink. I love that he sparkles. It's so cool. I love the fact that Jared sparkles. The most beautiful guy in school. I see you admiring my totally sweet posters. Yeah, they're really something, Jared. I like your abs. With a sudden, soul-crushing realization of what she said, her expression twisted into a mixture of horror and disgust. Oh my god, poor Mai. Jared was unfazed.
Hana?
Thanks, but Hana, it was actually you I wanted to speak to. Why would he want to talk to me? Yeah, okay. What's up? Jared looked expectantly at mine. She didn't move. Realizing she was in trouble, I nudged her with my elbow as stubbly as I could.
Hey.
Would you go get me a soda? I'm really thirsty. Without word, Mai scuttled away. Jared turned back to me, a cool glint in his eye he seemed to use to get the effect he had on women.
Well,
I wanted to talk to you about some fashion show. Actually, you're new here and all, so you probably don't know, but every year I like to put on a little fashion show to showcase my modeling skills.
What?
Wait, what? You know, just to make sure people don't forget what I'm capable of. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a stack of glossy photos and thrust them into my hands. I stared down at them in awe. I love that. I love like the no chin smile that he does. It's just like, that's so funny. I looked through them starting to notice a pattern that he sucks his chin in when he smiles. As you can tell, my beauty is something that simply can't go to waste. I like to hold a fashion show here at Asagao Academy to ensure everyone gets their yearly dose of Bro Jared. I flipped through the last photos, heat shot up my neck into my ears. Surely there was some kind of joke. I shoved the stack of photos back at him, wiping my sweaty palms against my skirt. What does this have to do with me? Ah, that might have been a touch rude. Jared, as smooth as ever, simply smiled.
you're perfect.
I think you have potential, Hana. He suddenly leaned close to me, so close, in fact, that I could smell his cologne, a musky, sweet aroma of earthly scents and ham. Potential for what exactly? Jared shifted his mouth so close to my ear I could feel his heat. For greatness. He reached into his shirt pocket and retrieved a small slip of paper. With quivering hands, I accepted it.
All right.
My card. My number's on the bottom. If you're ever interested, I could teach you a thing or two about modeling. I stared down at the card in my hand, feeling that if I looked away, it would disappear, but by the time I gathered enough courage to face him again, Jared was gone. Feeling quite dizzy, I headed for class, the business card strangled to death in my own white-knuckled hand. By the time I got through milling through the students in the classroom, Mai was sitting at her desk, face down, completely still. I took my seat, twisted around to poke the dejected Mai-shaped heap. She didn't budge.
Hey.
Mai? I heard her muffle a groan of despair.
I can't believe this.
I'm such a social disaster. No, you're not. I tried to sound comforting, but I was never good at this sort of thing. Mai finally lifted her head from her desk. What's that? She motioned to her business card that was still in my hand as I sat in front of her. Mai appraised it for a long minute with a blank face, as if it was a rare artifact in front of her that she didn't actually believe was real. Then her eyebrows pulled together. He gave you his number! Well, yeah. Sort of. I mean, not really. He said I should call him if I want him to teach me how to model like him. It was embarrassing to even say the words. I felt awkward in my mouth the moment I said it out loud. I wish I could grab back and swallow them. I expected Mai to give me once over before making the off-cut of the comment of how I was nearly as pretty enough to be a model. But she didn't.
Yeah.
He totally wants to get with me. Her tone was so matter-of-fact, I gasped. What? No, he doesn't. Why would you say that?
Bingo.
Okay, Hana. I've taken enough sex ed classes to know when a guy fully wants you. And Jared, fully wants you. Mortified, I snatched the business card back off of her hand and desk and shoved it into my jacket pocket. Turning away, my cheeks felt like they were on fire. By now the classroom was filled with students, the chattering amongst themselves, but the white noise of their conversation wasn't loud enough to drown my out. Out of the corner of my eye, I could see John and PBG seated in their desks at the back of the classroom. I'm talking serious grabby hands in the back of Dad's Camaro here. You're gonna make babies with Pro Jared, Hannah. Little glittering Jared babies. No, I'm not! You're totally crazy. I don't even know what you're talking about. Miss Shizuka, like some kind of angel, cleared her throat at the front of the class and exhaled gratefully and sunk down in my seat. When class finally ended, Mai and I headed out to the fourth cafeteria incident, forgetting he hurried to explain Miss Shizuka's scandalous last relationship.
What a jerk!
Seriously, he split all the time trying to choose between her and some dead chick who only liked him because she looked like her ex-boyfriend? I mean, who does that? We got our food and hesitated to the middle of the room looking at the normal goods table. Neither of us wanted to go up the demand of the seat, especially after wigging out the way we did the day before. What if they changed their minds? But Satch noticed us staring like lost lambs in the middle of the room and waved us over.
Hey, girl.
Hey girl, how was class? Oh, you know, normal. Satch nodded and turned away, having been in the middle of talking to Josh. That was awkward despite how familiar he treated me. I still don't know how to talk to him, or any of them. I looked across the table and locked eyes with PBG, who stared at me like I was a baby German Shepherd. You...
All right.
Cookies!
What?
What?
Oh, sick.
You brought us cookies! You're the best, Gerard. Paul sprang out of his chair and practically tackled Gerard. Whoa, calm down. There's enough cookies for everyone to go around. Gerard started passing out cookies around the table, but paused. You're back again. He looked at Mai and me. I tried to ignore the disappointment on his face. Well, here. He handed us each a cookie, then headed back across the cafeteria. I stared at the small chocolate chips melting down the warm cookie. Did he not want us here? But he was so nice yesterday. I didn't even want to eat the cookie, not if I was going to eat it to be a two-faced as that. Hey! Watch where you're walking next time. A sheepish Gerard stood next to a short, skinny boy who was holding his tray above his head. I'm sorry, I'll be more careful. Oh, you're from Normal Boots. Wait, you're the guy who plays with the itty-bitty kitties, aren't you? The boy sneered. How the hell did you manage to get around that group like that?
Huh?
They're my friends. Playing with those stupid dolls, you're an embarrassment. Oh man, dude could be more mean. The kid's friends were hitting his shoulders, looking from Gerard to our table with panicked eyes.
I like what I like.
I think they're fun. Whatever. The kid led off by his friends. Gerard came back and sat down at the table. That was weird. Gerard sat down and began happily munching on his cookie, looking for all like the world like he didn't even care about what just happened. I scanned the cafeteria for the boy who heckled him and found him sitting alone at the table, head in his hands. His friends left him behind. What was that about? Oh, that I used to get it all the time. I collect itty-bitty kitty figurines. You know, that kid show with the 5 kittens who live in Kitten Town? They were originally supposed to have magic powers, but whatever. I collect their figures. They're so cute. I've almost got them all, but I'm missing Princess Pumpernickel. She's the rarest. But why was that guy making fun of you? Doesn't it bother you? I was afraid of bringing up a bad feelings, but Gerard just shook his head. It looks kind of weird, right? A teenage boy collecting toys meant for little girls? I can't relate to that.
Uh-huh.
But I like them, so I don't let it bother me. Sorry, I didn't bring enough cookies the first time, Hana. I forgot that you were joining us again, but I'm glad you're here. I bit my lip to see... I bit my lip. See, Hana? He was being nice the whole time, and here you were jumping to conclusion. Hey, your cookie'll get cold if you don't eat it. I unwrapped the cookie, scents of chocolate and cinnamon hit me. I broke off a piece and popped it into my mouth. Gerard whispered something into Nick's ear, who started laughing so hard that milk came out of his nose. He was really okay with people making fun of him. I couldn't believe it. I didn't believe it. In my old school, people made fun of me every day. It was hell. There was no way he could just brush it off like that. Not when I tried so hard to do the same. But as I finished the cookie, I started on my ramen, and Gerard continued to laugh with the rest of the normal boots. I wondered whether it was impossible to always, as I always thought. Hana, can you pass me some pepper? I got it here, Jared. Thanks. What was your name again? It's Mai. Mai.
Nice.
Thanks, Mai.
Hana!
Well, Hana, ready to head back? Huh? Oh yeah. Did Mai look sad, or did I imagine it? We threw our trays and racks and headed out the cafeteria. As we headed to Normal Boots, and Gerard cheerfully waved back, and a sudden pang hit my stomach. Was it guilt? After class ended that day, Mai said she had a volleyball practice and sped off. Thankfully, the time I knew where I was going, so I headed straight back to the back and collapsed on my bed. It was nice to save some time to myself. After everything that had happened, I felt like I was going crazy. I could use some relaxation. I didn't have a computer or a TV, and the book Satch gave me was really good, but sometimes it got a bit hard to read. Instead, I took out my phone and started flipping through the App Store. Nothing really looked good. Wait, what was this? I sat up. Dumby Doom's Revenge. Face off against 3 other players as you catch monsters, raise them, and then use their unique skills to aid you on your puzzle-solving quest. Only you can save Metaworld from an ignorant king and an utter destruction. Now with a single-player campaign, raise crops, feed your monsters. If you are lucky, they'll transform into cute girls. Sounds like my kind of game. What the hell? It looks so stupid, but I couldn't resist. I downloaded and started up the game. Welcome to Dumby Doom's Revenge. I skipped the intro sequence and quickly hit single player. Loading. The load times were terrible. Video games, am I right? Suddenly, a cartoonish hilly valley met with my eyes panning over to a white castle nestled next to a cliff. A lazy king lay asleep on a throne where the squat silver soldiers ran into the room. King Dumby-Doom, quickly! We're under attack! Oh, just send out the 1st battalion off. Please, I'm rather tired. The knight left the screen, faded to the world map, showing hordes of black blobs on the right side of the screen. A small group of knights ran up against the blobs and were instantly devoured. Once the black blobs split out the helmets, the skulls were inside. What the hell is this game? Things continued on their way, the king sending off his battalions haphazardly until there was no one left. The king awoke in his chair and he turned to the screen. You! Me? Only you can save my kingdom, please! I don't think I can save your kingdom. You're the only one mensing it. How dare you! The hell? Could this thing hear me? You are no longer an advisor. Go back to your home village and let me deal with this myself. A tiny sprite with blown hair flew across the world map, bouncing into a bunch of red houses. I guess my only choice is to raise an army of monsters myself, overthrow the king, and then raise my army to fight the overcoming bloppy blobs. How the hell did you come into this conclusion? Finally, I was allowed to play the actual game. A dozen of multicolored blocks appeared on the screen. The monsters were initially given only one hit on their corresponding colors, and then I couldn't activate any traps. Supposedly, more monsters could eventually learn how to set up traps, and you could do certain combos to hinder the opposing team. If you had any attractive girls on your team, she could use her ability to double the rate of your opponent's blocks, or have their clock time. But it had a drawback for you too, and could be used as an asset by the opponent. Not to mention the certain color combinations between the girls' monsters activated unique secret abilities, and you could also evolve your monsters and feed them things. How the heck am I supposed to remember all this? I failed the first few times, but I quickly got the hang of it. It was just about being adept and maintaining a flexible strategy after all. My eyes started to hurt. I was looking at the time. 8 o'clock? It's been 4 hours! I had reading to do. I grabbed my textbook, flicked on my radio, and began to read. There had been many tales of the times the moon had fallen over other planets. The most popular of these myths of Termania, however, these myths have never proven to be more than hallucinations. My eyes blurred over my astronomy textbook, and I yawned. The shivered piece floating from my table to my radio made me want to go to sleep, and I toyed with my idea of going to class without finishing my reading. Who cared how many times the moon was supposed to fall, especially when the time travel was involved? Hana! Mai burst into the door, flung herself across the room, and grabbed my radio.
Hey!
Hey, where have you been? What are you doing? Give me a second, we're missing it. There we go. But I swear, that dog was living the worst. That's why you need to bird like my lovely Jacques. Watch your tongue. What is this? Shh.
Hey.
So, the time has come to make the official announcement. This year, like every other year, the Normal Boots Club will be participating in the video game tournament.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Yeah! As PBG applauded, as the others crowded the 30 people, I shot and puzzled and glanced at Mai. I hope you guys are supporting us this year. The best of luck to our competitors. You guys are going down. And now for some music. Mai turned down the radio and sighed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what do you want? What was that? PB&J. It's PB and John's radio show. They have a radio show? What do they do on it? They talk and stuff and play music sometimes. Everyone in school listens to it. I'm so glad you brought your radio. I forgot mine at home. And a video game tournament? Yeah, didn't you hear them talking about it the other day? No. Come to think of it, I hadn't paid much attention to their conversation. I was too busy worrying about myself. Every year they have a game tournament down at the Higaban Mall. Lots of people come to compete, but everybody knows that the real fight is between the Normal Boots Club and the Hidden Block Club. Is that what they do? Video game tournaments? Yeah, that's what nobody's ever joined them since their inception.
Wow.
Well, I guess partly they're a group of friends who just happened to make a club together, but also, unless you're really talented, you just drag them down. Ouch. Not all of them are so harsh, but some of them, well... Mai glanced away, but I felt like she knew what she was talking about. That's too bad. The conversation I had before with Jimmy and Caddy came to my mind. Had they really thought I was joining Normal Boots Club? There was no way. I hadn't played a video game since I was a kid. My father gave me a 4DS when I left home, but... The night before I left home for Asagao, my dad came to visit me in my room. I had packed a few things that I owned into a briefcase of single cardboard box set to the ship to the train. I sat and stared at the box, somewhat bitter. I barely even needed it. I didn't own much. Hana. Yeah, Dad? My father stood in front of me with a weary smile on his face. Even though he tried to hide, I could see the deep wrinkles around his eyes and forehead, that he was tired, sad. The past few years had taken a toll on him, and I hadn't eased things. You'll be leaving tomorrow. Yeah. A heavy silence hung between us, filling my childhood bedroom like a styrofoam. Are you excited? Yeah. Yeah, I am. He nodded and glanced around my room. At a pale blue walls, the broken clock above my old desk, the scuff marks around the door frame where I ran into as a kid. I lived in this house almost my whole life. Ever since moving after kindergarten, it was everything I knew. But now, it was too much for me. The decision to transfer to Asagao didn't come lightly. First, it was a prestigious institution with highly praised reputation. Only the best of the best, touring either great grades, impressive talents, or lots of money could get in. I was none of those things. But I made it in regardless. Part of me subjected I was a charity case. I received a small scholarship, and I would no doubt look for the academy, have fostered a poverty-stricken child into its halls. And despite the fact that my father couldn't afford it, even with the scholarship, he guaranteed he'd support me if I went. I looked again at his wrinkles on his face, and his sagging shoulders. He pressed his hand against his body to hide the way he shook. All for me. He'd be all alone. I'm glad you're going. I think this will be good for you. Yeah. I wish I could say something else, but nothing came. Well, honey, just in case you get homesick, I bought a present for you. A present? From his pocket, my dad produced a shrink package, a Nintendo 4DS, and placed it into my hand. For you. But why? How? Dad, this costs so much. You're already killing yourself letting me go. Why would you... Tears spilled down from my eyes as my dad smiled. Nothing is too good for you, my dear Hana. Oh man. His voice was trembling. Dude, this is actually kind of getting to me a little bit. You're my pride and joy. You deserve so much better than you've gotten from me. Dad, go to Asagao. Have fun. Make lots of friends. And when you get homesick, you play with that. I'll make do. I stood up and hugged him, burying my face in his scratchy sweater and oatmeal smell. I'll miss you. I'll miss you too, my little Hana. But the thing is, he forgot to give me a cartridge to play with. Okay. I think I'm gonna call it here just because emotional. Dude, that got like crazy just deep right there. But the story's going good so far. We're learning about possibly, maybe they want us to be a part of the Normal Boots Club. Maybe they don't. Hidden Block thinks we're joining. I don't know what's going on. But we're gonna find out. The story's really cute, man. I really get a kick out of the story. It's a lot of fun. So we'll call it here because I don't know why these episodes will always take a little bit longer just because there's a lot of reading and everything like that. So I try to make them a little longer. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Asagao Academy. And in the next one, we're gonna see if we can find out more about this tournament that's gonna be happening soon. So until then, guys, this was Asagao Academy. I've been Benchez. We will find our husbando soon. I assure you of it. I love all your faces. See you next time. See you later.